My dad said I'd never amount to anything, so I built something he could never ignore. I was 22, standing in my parents' driveway, watching my dad hand my younger brother Ryan the keys to a brand new Mercedes. Ryan was 19, had just flunked out of his second college, and somehow this was being framed as a fresh start. "This is to help you get back on your feet," Dad said proudly, clapping him on the shoulder. "You've got real potential, son." I'd arrived in my faded Civic, the one I bought with money from 2 campus jobs and weekend shifts. I'd graduated with honors that year. No celebration, no surprise gift, just a dry handshake and, well, that's what you're supposed to do. "Congrats," I told Ryan, trying to sound like the supportive older brother. He smirked. "Thanks, man. Maybe when you get a real job, Dad'll hook you up too." Dad laughed. Actually laughed. Then he turned to me, expression shifting. "Ryan's right, Evan. When are you going to stop this startup fantasy and find a real career? You're wasting your degree." "I'm building something," I said quietly. "The company's growing." Dad scoffed. "You're 22 years old, sleeping on a friend's couch, living off ramen. You call that success? Face it, son. You're never going to amount to anything chasing pipe dreams." Ryan understands reality. Maybe you should take notes. I'd heard harsher variations my whole life, but something about watching Ryan get rewarded for failure while I was lectured for trying. It broke something in me. "You're right," I said softly. "I should stop wasting everyone's time." Mom sighed with relief. Finally, some sense. That was the last time I tried to impress them. I stopped calling, stopped showing up for dinners, stopped explaining my ideas to people who looked at me like I'd built a shrine to delusion. Instead, I built my software company. Year 1, barely surviving, working 18-hour days, eating whatever was on sale at the dollar store. Year 2, broke even. Year 3, landed my first major enterprise client. Year 4, expanded from 7 employees to 50, moved into a real office. Year 5, secured a huge Series B round and shifted into a new headquarters downtown, a sleek glass building with my company's logo across the top. The same week we moved in, Ryan totaled the Mercedes. Dad's insurance wouldn't cover it. 3 DUIs will do that. Suddenly my phone rang. "Evan," Dad said, strained. "Ryan's in a tough spot. Needs a reliable car so he can look for work. Think you could loan us a few grand?" I didn't answer. 3 days later, Mom called. "Your father's business is struggling. We might lose the house. As the successful son, we thought you could help." The successful son. Funny how that title migrates when they need something. Mom insisted I come by Sunday, so I did. I pulled up in my Tesla wearing a suit worth more than my old Civic. The shock on their faces hit instantly. But the real moment, the one I'll never forget, came when Ryan glanced across the street and frowned. "Hey, isn't that your company's logo?" There it was, glowing on the side of my headquarters. I'd leased the building because the location was practical. I hadn't realized it faced their street. Dad's face drained of color. "You own that building?" "We lease it," I corrected. "But yes, that's my company." Mom grabbed my arm. "Why didn't you tell us you were doing so well?" I looked straight at Dad, remembering that day in the driveway. "Because I stopped trying to impress people who were convinced I'd never amount to anything. Turns out I work better without an audience." Ryan shifted awkwardly. "So, about that loan?" "No," I said calmly. "No anger, just truth. I'm not your backup plan. I'm not the son you call when the golden child can't deliver." Dad's jaw tightened. "After everything we sacrificed." "You sacrificed for Ryan," I cut in. "You gave him cars, excuses, safety nets. You gave me doubt. And honestly, the doubt was more useful." I handed Mom an envelope, enough to cover 3 months of their mortgage. "This isn't a loan. It's a gift because you're still my parents. But it's the last time. I'm done helping people who spent years telling me I'd fail." I walked back to my car. Behind me, I heard Mom crying and Dad yelling, but I didn't turn around. Money hadn't changed me. Realizing my family only valued me when they wanted a piece of what I built, that changed everything. I spent 5 years proving them wrong. Now I'll spend the rest of my life proving I never needed their approval at all.